So hello friends and aspirants, welcome to AKS IAS channel. My name is Muthoot and I happen to be the faculty on history and art and culture at AKS Academy. So today we shall be discussing or we shall be analyzing the basis on the trend of UPSC exam, as well as we'll analyze the questions of history. So I'm very happy today in some ways, or as a history lecturer, I'm very happy because comparatively, if you judge the last few years, history questions have been rising. History questions are there rising. And I have been telling my students that to analyze the political agenda also. I mean, once in the past 4 or 5 years, we are seeing a tremendous rise in ancient India. Usually, people used to give more importance to modern India. Now, what has happened is, past 4 or 5 years, things have changed, and now more importance. This year, absolutely, it is main weightage has been given to ancient India. So last year also there was, 2018 also preferably. So we see that change in the trend. So now we know where to look into the most. And general things about question paper was very straightforward questions, Please don't say that questions were confusing and all. No. As per my analysis, as per many years of experience in UPSC, what I have seen is there was a tremendous level of effort put in, rephrasing or framing the questions, very direct questions, but answers were very close. Even when I saw the answers, it was like very on the face. The answers were so close. In UPSC memes and all means, we kind of put one person and 4 different types of photographs of him or her, then choose the right answer. That kind of confusing is what has come by now. So let us not get disheartened. Let's analyze few of the questions that has come by. So do not worry. So please, let's go into the understanding. I have been, working on the charts. So a total of 20 questions I did see. So that was there, and few questions which I have not made, I shall also discuss. Might be discussed by other faculties also, but you please come along with me as such. For example, say I'll be using some gadgets of mine also where I have the questions also kept, not only the, so I think you can see my, what the screen which I have shared. So I consider, now I put the 12th question, but what I want you to understand is there was a 7th question which was there, question number 7. So please go into question number 7, which I do not have the slide, but I would like that also is a history, because the question itself says history of India. With reference to the history of India, question number 7 of set C. Set C paper I am explaining. So please make sure that you have the question as such, or else you can find this particular question in other papers also, but different numbers. I am discussing the question of set C. A, B, C, D sets will be there. I am discussing the set C question. Charlie, C for Charlie. So it goes like, with reference to the history of India, consider the following pair. So they are distinguished between famous places and present state. So famous place like Bhilsa. Bhilsa was given. So Bhilsa is, naturally we know that Bhilsa is in Madhya Pradesh. So that's a right answer. So one is a right answer. Second one, Dwara Samudra. Dwara Samudra South Indians especially know that, or Kannadigas, those who are from Karnataka, very well know that Dwarasamudra is in Karnataka. It is not in Maharashtra. It's, I think it is Halebeedu. Halebeedu is the ancient name is Dwarasamudra. So Hoysalas of Dwarasamudra, we say. If you have learned the Hoysala dynasty, you will come to an understanding where Dwarasamudra and Halebeedu is. So Halebeedu or Dwarasamudra comes from Karnataka, not Maharashtra. That's a wrong answer. Coming into Girnar, of course, the word Gir itself is famous for Gujarat, GG. That's a right answer. Stanishwara. Stanishwara is not in Uttar Pradesh, it is Tanesar. So Tanesar comes by, Tanesar is Haryana. So Stanishwara is an old name, Harsha's capital. One among the Harsha's capital is Stanishwara. That is modern day Tanesar. So that's a wrong answer. So we can genuinely go with 1 and 3. So answer for the 7th one is A. Please keep that in mind. And so that is question number 7 we have discussed. That's exclusively history question, because in that 7th question of set number C is very well referred to history of India. So that itself proves that it is a question on history. So please keep that in mind. And now let's come to the question which I have shared, question number 12. So just keep it away and let's discuss on this particularity, 12th one, with reference to the period of Gupta dynasty in ancient India. The towns, maybe I'm pronouncing wrong, but please don't mind or excuse me for my pronunciations. So Ghantasala, Kadura, and Chaul. So Ghantasala and all, when we talk about them, there is a confusion also which comes on top of it, which I am having a confusion. So I will just tell it accordingly, because nobody. Let it be, those who claim to be the biggest academies also, they will have a tough time in interpreting the questions. Because how the UPSC interprets, nobody can interpret. So there will be confusions, and I said the answers are pretty close. So let's try to analyze which is the closest proximate answer. That's all we can go up. So Kadura and Chaul. So what are they well known for? Other things they are pilgrimage centers. They are pilgrimage center, Buddhist center. These are. Ghantasala is somewhere in Andhra region near to Vijayawada. That comes there. 2019 there was a news of Ghantasala where they found a Buddhist statue almost about 70 feet long. 70 feet long, so they have found it there. Kadura, see, Kadur is there in Karnataka also. There is Kadur near Chikmagalur district. There is one which comes, and there is another one, Kadura, which also we say. So that area where we can say is in UP, so near to Jhansi area. So that also comes by. Then another area that comes, which is Chaul. Kaul or Chaul, how it is pronounced, please excuse me, Kaul or Chaul. That is a medieval region. There was a Portuguese fortification. Even today, you go to that place, that is a coastal city that has a fortification there. So what I am saying is, one, it is a Buddhist centers, these are. Then exquisite stone architecture can come there. You find a lot of stone architecture that is there. They have put that in kingdom. And medieval fortification. If you find the fortification, then they are town centers or near very important town centers. But I found more attraction towards the foreign trade understanding. Ports handling foreign trade. That's what I had an understanding with, because they were all near to a river, because Ghantasala is near the Krishna river area. So look at the statement. Ports handling foreign relations. So inland, inshore foreign trade also can be. When you think about foreign trade, look at the brilliance. When you think about foreign trade, immediately we will come into the coastal areas. So definitely Ghantasala and Kadura cannot be considered an area where foreign trade can be handled. So even near to Jhansi Jhansi also we have that, what's it, Pahuj River. So river, if it is there, they can handle foreign trade. They can collect it from that. So this is the perfection that I said. They're confusing it exclusively. So when you take for these three areas, generally we come to an understanding they were handling foreign trade. So answer number 12, we can generally assume it is A. So for set C, it is A, 12. Then coming into the next one, 21. Set number C, set C, the question 21. With reference to the cultural history of India, consider the following. So Parivrajaka, Parivrajaka. So Pari, the word itself means, you are giving. So it's a concept of giving away. So the word exactly suits for Parityaga. All these kind of words come by. So Parivrajaka, renunciant. So once you renounce, then the world is for you. Sannyasis, there is nothing for them to have in. They own nothing. Even the body is not theirs, they know that. When we study especially my class, I tell in Buddhist philosophy and all. So renunciant and wanderer. Very well, that Parivrajaka is a correct answer. One is right. Shramana, they said, priest as of high status. One thing that we need to understand is, Shramana was not the priest of high class. Shramana is the laboring, one who labors. That is what the statement always comes for Shramana, the one who labors. And one more thing, he always performs the acts of austerity. He always performs the act of austerity. So there itself we understand he was not a priestly class. But Shramana is wrong. Please understand, Shramana goes for laboring, austere kind of a personality. Upasaka. Upasaka is very form that he is a lay worshipper of Buddhism. So 1 and 3. So 1 and 3, question number 21, very well we can say that 1 and 3 goes for B. B is the right answer for 21. Then, next one, according to set C, so in between all the questions are geography, polity, environment, all those. Current affairs have come very less. So those who sat and went behind magazines and all, excuse. In 2010, 11 and all, this trend came up. 2008, 9 and all, very heavy level of current affairs came by. Then again, 11, 12, they went into 10, 11, 12 and all, much of this general knowledge and that kind of questions came. Then again, 13, 14 and all, high level of current affairs. Then again, 15, 16 and all, general knowledge level. Then again, current affairs. Then again, back to that very same no current affairs mode. This is what my analysis are, my analysis. So let's go with it. 61. With reference to the cultural history, culture, everything they're going with culture, everything they're going with culture. Ancient India culture, medieval India culture. They are not even wanting to understand modern India. Modern India, when also modern India questions are there, which are culture also. We'll come to that. With reference to the cultural history of India, which one of the following is the correct description of the term paramitas? So paramitas. So when you take the description, the paramita means perfect virtue or virtuous. That is what the basic understanding of paramita goes. So when you go for 61, earliest Dharma Shastra texts were written in Sutra style. No, earliest Dharma Shastras were not written in the Sutra style. They were just written down in the very accordical form, the very prose text-like form. So that is there. And philosophical schools that did not accept the authority of Vedas. Philosophy, Buddhism, when we understand, Buddhism is an offshoot of Hinduism. Buddhism's basic philosophy, if you understand, one of the basic tenets that keeps Buddhism in control, or the ideas of Buddhism, is Sankhya philosophy. Dualist philosophy. Sankhya philosophy is very much Kapila philosophy. Kapila's philosophy. So their philosophical, so the very offshoot of Hinduism only. Even if you take for law, there is a Christian law, there is a Muslim law, there is a Hindu law. This is what the three laws are. So why there is Jain, Sikh, Buddhist, all these groups, Zoroastrians, Parsis, all these groups are considered to be a part of Hinduism because the philosophical ideology behaves very much tandem with Hinduist ideology. So please understand that. The philosophical is not. Perfection, virtue. Virtuous means he is trying to attain perfection. Virtuous. I'm trying to be, God is only perfect. No human being is perfect. So virtuous means we are trying to attain that perfection. So please let's understand like that. So that is there. So perfection whose attainment led to Bodhisattva path. So that is the right answer. Paramatha, virtuous. So once you are virtuous, only you can attain that moksha. Once you are moksha, you're with the God, or you're Buddhist. You're like Buddha itself. So there you are almost perfect. Virtuous is an idea as a path to perfection. So perfection, that word is there. There we can go for it. Powerful merchant is not at all. Not at all. Paramitas are a kind of philosophical understanding. So there 61 shall go with C. Then coming into 62. Okay, next one. In the context of Indian history, Rakhma Bai. Rakhma Bai, please understand, very important personality in India. So this is something on women empowerment. This is something on women empowerment and social justice. Historically, they are bringing women empowerment, feminism, and social justice. So Rukma Bai case, we know that Dadaji Bikaji, Rukma Bai versus Dadaji Bikaji. I myself, I'm a lawyer. So this is kind of case that we learn. So Rukma Bai generally trends. So women's right. So Rukma Bai case revolved around. So what we understand is Rukma Bai or Rukmi Bai. Also there is or Rakhma Bai. Likewise, also it is said. This case happened in 1885. Okay, that is 1884 it is said. 1885, we say the arguments began or the proceedings began in 1885. So even if you say 1885 also, no problem. So what happened was basically she was one of the first doctors, female doctors in colonial India. One of the first female doctors in colonial India. So what happened was, but we can say that the child bride concept is there. So age of consent comes there. Child bride, age of consent comes there in that. Then restitution of conjugal rights. Restitution of conjugal rights means, see, when you go for a divorce, husband and wife, if they want to stay together, they can. Islam, it is a contract. Any marriage is a contract. Because God comes above. There is no divinity. So both of them are like sannyasis. That is what Islamic idea is always. Both husband and wife are sannyasis. They will only think about God. And these two people will be helping each other to achieve God. Whereas when you take for Christian ideology and Hindu ideology, the marriage is considered divine. Divine. It is not a contract. God comes down and sanctifies the... So in Hindu ideology, we need a burning lamp. Agni Sakshi, we say. So we, Fera we go 7 times around the Agni only. In South India, we don't do much of Fera or something. We don't have that ideology. So at least Agni should be there. Without Agni Sakshi, a Hindu marriage cannot be sanctified. In Islamic concept, the female should be given away by by the father or any male member who has the equal right, and mahar should be given in return. That is one thing. When it comes to Christian, the priest should be there. Christian ceremony should be maintained. This is what. So when they choose to separate from each other, a process of divorce comes in. Earlier in colonial India and all, there was a concept of they'll just go, whatever, Muslims will go in talaq way, Hindus and Christians in their way. So British brought that uniform civil code. Uniforms, on the civil understanding, the uniform civil code was put through. Not for others, but still, majority of the concept. Divorce also should be taken up by the court, those kind of things. In CPC. So, This is one of the first cases, and the year is very important. 1884 here it is mentioned. 1885 also, when I mentioned the argument started. 1885, please understand, Babari Masjid case also starts in 1885. 1885 onwards, the Faridabad court, they begin all this. So you can keep that also in mind from next time when you study. So here, age of consent comes by, child bride is there, restitution of conjugal rights. Coming to restitution of conjugal rights, that means when two people try to move away, the court doesn't give a mandatory order. Court comes with a request. Court is coming with a request. Court will never try to separate two people. Court will always try to bring two people together and maintain the marriage as much as possible. So the court will request the party, could you please go back to your husband or wife? And there is, like the rights you have responsibilities also. Husband has rights as well as responsibility. Wife has rights as well as responsibility. So please go back to your husband or please go back to your wife, perform the rights and responsibilities, exercise your rights and perform the responsibility. This is what restitution of conjugal rights. This was also accorded in this one, with this case. So generally, woman's right to gain education. So after this case, now why I am not very connected with woman's right to gain education is that she was already educated, because after this case, there was a general attendance to her. What do you need to do? So she told, I want to study medicine. I want to do medical practice. If she was able to say that she wanted to do medical practice, she was already educated or she was in education. So this woman's right to gain education, she was already undergoing education. So that we don't need to consider. Age of consent and restitution of conjugal rights is what is more applicable here. So 2 and 3 is what we go to. So a logical approach. Because already when the case was happening, she was getting educated. Otherwise, she could not say that I want to study for medicine. After the case, she told that. So when you understand the story like this, you will get an idea. This is what I would like to say. So 2 and 3. So 2 and 3 is B. So 62, set C, it is B. Then coming into 63. Indigo cultivation in India declined by the beginning of 20th century. That means 1900s. So running time. Westerners always take the running time. 1900s will be called 20th century. 2000s will be, 2000s will be called 21st century. Likewise. So always one. So 20th century, when they say, very famous song is also there. I am 16, you are, I am 16 going on 17. It's a Mary Poppins or something, very, very classical movie that is. So likewise. So always Westerners try to say the running term. So 20th century means 1900s. So let's understand. So indigo cultivation in India declined by the beginning. So what are the reasons? Because of, yes, peasant resistance to oppressive conduct of planters. Peasant resistance to oppressive conduct of planters. Let's keep that in mind. Let's read the others also. 63. So it's unprofitability in the world market because of new inventions. Keep it. National leaders' opposition to cultivation of indigo. Okay. National leaders, 20th century, 1900s. Okay. Government control over planters. So first, peasant resistance to the oppressive conduct of, peasant resistance came. Kisan Sabha, All India Kisan Sabha and all came. Then there was a lot of reformers. But that all was not in the 1900s. That was early 1900s and all. You don't see much of that much effect coming there. That was, there was. Please understand, there was. But declined in the beginning of 20th century. That was one more reason. So we need to find the apt reason. So what I find is second one, unprofitability. See, British, whether they like it or not, they will make us work. They will make us work. So it declined. One reason we can say is unprofitability. Why I will say? When I teach world history, I mentioned this very exclusive part in Industrial Revolution. So market because of new inventions. New inventions are the reason. Because British made us do whatever they wanted, whether X or Y. First, we should understand, we should study Indian history. Indian sentiments also should be applied. British administrative tactics also should be applied. The ruled have their own way. The rulers have their own way. So when you look at Indian history or history itself, you need to look at history from 360-degree angle. So please understand that. So what I kind of say here is the unprofitability. Why did I say the concept of unprofitability? Why I go with unprofitability is, see, the concept of indigo, the plant. So if the peasants had to be given food crops making seeds, the peasants needed to plant cash crop seeds at the place where the planters told them to plant. This is what, when we go into detail, they say. So what we understand from this is unprofitability of the world market. Why? Again, synthetic dye. Indigo is a natural dye. Synthetic dye came out in the year exactly in 1856, those times and all. Synthetic dye came out in the 19th century itself, mid-19th century you can say. And William Henry Perkins, his name was William Henry Perkins. World history, you will learn about him. William Henry Perkins, he was a person who, he was an Englishman again, Englishman. So India was ruled by English. That is it. He was an Englishman who brought the idea of synthetic dye. He invented synthetic dye. So when the synthetic dye, most of our clothes are now not natural, but mostly synthetic. It was more strong, it was more lasting. So naturally, the dependency on the natural ones will go down. The indigo slowly lost out. Rest all that points we can take. National leaders opposing later in the mid-1900s, there was opposition. Yes, we know that. Government control over planters, yes, from the beginning itself it is there, but that was not the cause for a decline. That was not the cause for a decline. So here the perfect understanding goes for B. So 63 in set C, the answer is B. Let's go like that. Then analysis only we are doing. So like I said, best of best academies sometimes find it difficult to understand and analyze answers. So we are trying to decipher or eliminate and find the best answer possible. So 64, next one, 64 according to set C, there is 64. Wellesley, Richard Wellesley. 2018, there was question on Arthur Wellesley. 2018 on Arthur, they are called as Wellesley brothers. 2018 on Arthur Wellesley, Duke of Wellington. 2020, Richard Wellesley, the Viceroy or the Governor General of India. Established Fort William at Calcutta because what was the reason? He was asked by board of course he must have asked by the board of directors. Without that you cannot do anything. Because from Warren Hastings onwards the grip was more tight. He wanted to revive interest in Oriental learning in India. Of course, that also was there. He wanted to provide William Carey with his associates with employment. Okay, fine. That was his friendship. Okay, let him do that. He wanted to train British civilians to administrative purpose in India. Now, board of directors. Okay, fine. But general, what was the main cause? Board of directors will ask. Okay, then that is eliminated. Very close it is. Oriental learning. Then that is also there. Then William Carey with his associates for employment. Okay. So this C and D is very close by. Very close, very close. Wanted to provide William Carey. William Carey was an Englishman and his associates. His associates were Englishmen with employment. So C is the same. D, when you say he wanted to train British civilians for administrative purpose. British civilians. We very well know that British administration in India was mostly associated by Indians learning or getting British education. That is there. So what is more closer to the idea which I told now is the second one, B. B. He wanted to revive interest in Oriental learning in India. Because it was very evidently told, the Fort William was established. There was a huge library. In that library, when you read about Fort William, The library was very significant. And there were several linguistic texts inside the library. When it was, see, second primary objective we are looking at. Primary objective. Many objectives were there for Fort William. But when we look at the very concept of the library was the highlight of Fort William. And linguistic books were there. So it was very much linguistic, means to understand India better for the official class. So revive the interest in Oriental learning. So that is what 64, it comes B. And so that is more live. That's what I'm saying. That is more live. Then coming into next one, 65. 65, with the reference of history of India, Ulgulan or the Great Tumult is the description of which of the following India. So the word Ulgulan itself, that's something we get an idea. It is a tribal identity. Ulgulan. It's not a regular lingual word. It is a tribal word. We can, the word itself, when we casually talk, also something like that can come. So revolt of 1857 was not tribal. Mapla rebellion was not tribal. Then Indigo revolt, again peasants, they were not tribal. So the basic understanding for the tribal goes into Munda, the Munda revolt, the Birsa Munda. 2 years before also there was a question on the tribal rebellions in India. 2018, I guess not 2018, 2019 that question came. Santhali, about the Santhalis. So they are going more into the tribal understanding. So please follow this. It was 65. Very kind of a direct question, this, if you have a general reading. Because Birsa Munda and all, nobody will avoid while reading also. One of the very famous characters of Indian history. So Munda rebellion and all. So like I said, why I am more interested in this is because since I'm going around India, I have Ho and Munda students also still. So when I teach, when I lecture on these kind of, they come and ask, sir, could you tell us more about our details, our history? So it's very, very much, that is a tribal kind of a word, Birsa Munda. No others are relating to tribal. So 65, it is D. Now that comes by. Then coming into 66. 66. With reference to scholars, literers of ancient India, consider the following statements. So, with reference to the scholars, literers of ancient India, consider which is the right. Panini is associated with Pushyamitra Sunga. Pushyamitra Sunga. Panini wrote Ashtadhyayi. In Panini's writing, there is mention about Sunga. That Sunga, Panini mentioned that Sungas were Brahmanas who evolved from the Bharadwaja Gotra. Those of my students who are listening to me, I have given this in your notebook also. In your notebook, I have given this statement. Sungas evolved from the Bharadwaja Gotra. But exclusively does Panini mention about Pushyamitra Sunga is a question here. So, no. Sungas generally, he said. That is one thing. First statement. So that is out. Amarasimha is associated with Harshavardhana. Not at all. Amarasimha is the Navaratnas of Chandragupta Vikramaditya in Gupta 10. So never Harshavardhana comes almost 300 years later. 200 to 300 years later, Harshavardhana is coming. So Amarasimha was perfectly, was related to Harshavardhana. Not even in writings that will come. So 2 also out. Kalidasa associated with Chandragupta II. Chandragupta II is none other than Chandragupta Vikramaditya. Vikram Vetal, you must have read or heard or something. That Vikramaditya, the hero of Vikram Vetal is Chandragupta Vikramaditya, or else called as Chandragupta II. Please remember. Kalidasa was the first among the equals in the Navaratnas. So Amarasimha also was there, Amaragosha, Amarasimham, Amaragosha. Similarly, Kalidasa was, epic he wrote, Raghuvamsham. Abhijnana Shakuntalam, what's a Malavika Agnimitram. There are n number of books are there. I think my students, if there, I have given you different, I have made sections of these books and given. So please understand. So most of the above said answer for 66, we can go with the C, 3 alone. Third statement is more accurate. So 66 is more with C. And now with reference to the history of India, 71, question number 71. With reference to the history of India, consider the following pair. So Aurang is not treasury. They are also treasury. Also say you can that costly things are kept in treasury. But Aurang is generally places where goods are stored, like go down it is. In go down, you will not store treasury. Treasure will not be stored in a go down. So treasure will be mostly in a locker, or treasury itself will be there. So Aurang means just like a go down it is. That's what the state. Then when it comes to Banyan, the statement given here is specific. That's what I'm saying. Indian agent of East India Company. Indian agent of East India Company matters here. So when you talk about Banyan, it is basically agent. Generally, it is an agent. Or we can say an individual working for an agent. Sub-agent we can say. But here it is exclusively they are pointing out only for, or say, Indian agent of East India Company. No, not like that. It is a general word. It is not of East India Company alone. So Aurang is out. Indian agent. Okay. So in general, he's an agent itself. So there you can say agent itself. So that let's keep it like that. Let's keep it like that. Banyan, agent. Agent or an individual sub-agent. So East India Company may be an agent, and Banyan can be a sub-agent also, or Banyan can be an agent itself. So let it be. So 2 is okay. In a way we can consider that. Let it be. There is 50-50 consideration. Mirasadir. Mirasadir, designated revenue payer to the state. Yes. Mirasadir is generally called as owner of the land also, or keeper of the land. Another name for that is Pattadar. Pattadar also is there. Pattadar or Mirasadar and all these kind of names, generally we can say they are the, corporator or the owner of the land, all these can say. So they are the ones who are responsible to pay the government with all the taxes. So Mirasadar is there. Banyan is also 80%, 90% right. So here 71 we can go with the answer B. 2 and 3 is right. 71 set to C, B. That comes by. Then comes 72. So 72 with reference to history of India, with reference to the religious history of India. Now, good thing about this year's question is they have exclusively made it very identifiable. Religious, cultural, social. Likewise, they are a general history. They are putting it up in that form. I mean, that's what I said, kind of a straightforward question. You must understand. So with reference to the religious history of India, consider the following statements. Sthaviravadins belong to Mahayana Buddhism. Not at all. Sthaviravadins are Hinayanas. Very much. So out. 1 is out. Logottaravadin sect was an offshoot of Mahasangika sect of, yes, Logottaravadins was part of Mahasangika, and later on there was some differences and they separated also. That was offshoot. So that shows that that is very evident in the statements also. So they were once upon a time together. So 2 we can accept. The deification of Buddha by Mahasangika forces deification of Buddha by Mahasangikas fostered the Mahayana. Fostered, that word is fostering means what? Nurturing. Nurturing. So Mahasangika is was very much associated with Mahayana Buddhism. Later, they also had disputes and they entered it. So that is why the word fostering itself is used. The word fostering has weightage here. So 3 also can be, because there, stories of Buddha was written by one side, the practices how to be followed was written on one side. All this, I'm not going into the details, but I'm just telling the word foster gives more importance to the statement. That alone, Mahasangikas were fostered by, Mahayana was fostered by Mahasangikas. That is also right. 72, 2 and 3. So 2 and 3 comes for 72, set C, B. B comes there. Now, which of the following statement correct? 73. Next question, 73. Which of the following statements correctly explains the impact of Industrial Revolution on India? 73. So, we can say that which of the following statements correctly explains the impact of Industrial Revolution. So that's in Europe, Industrial Revolution. Everything was managed, or India was a resource market. India was a resource market. India was a resource market. Underline this. Post First World War, or during First World War, we got more equipments from India. Factories were more kind of developed in tandem with Industrial Revolution. Those who have sat for my world history class very well understands this, because I go very deep into Industrial Revolution. So India, I take country by country and say, in that I have very well mentioned India. In your notes you can check, very well you can understand. Beautifully explanation is given that America, Japan, Russia, China, Sweden, Finland, everything I have said. India also said during First World War, more kinds of equipments were made in India, because transportation through ships was impossible, because there was submarine blockade. And submarines, Germans had submarine, superiority. So, and they were very good at what they were doing. So British surface fleet, ships, otherwise, below the surface, above the surface. So British had surface fleets more. Germans had underwater boats or submarines. Unterseeboote. That is a German name. They were under the water. British were more. So because of that fear, most of the things were made in India. So I think this question is something on the historical identity of Make in India concept. So Make in India, India was a resource market. During First World War, more were made in India. So Industrial Revolution began in 18th century. First World War is in 20th century, 200 years difference. So we will eliminate machines were introduced in textile industry in large numbers, out, because machines were introduced in England. We are a resource market. Cotton, indigo, jute and all was taken from here to England. They will finish the produce there and they will bring it back to India. Railway lines were laid in many parts of the country. Okay, Industrial Revolution, even if you take, but in railway lines were not exclusively, 18th century I said. In the railway was not that big an effect, because resource. Heavy duty were imposed on imports of British manufacturers, not at all. Free trade was there. Free trade was given. Free trade. Please remember free trade. Indian handicrafts were ruined. One of the perfect examples, because even though when British wanted to expand their goods and all, Europe wanted British goods, but India and Indian goods had still market. So Shashi Tharoor, Dr. Tharoor's book, The Era of Darkness, very well explains this concept, that their even his Oxford speech also mentioned their looms were broken, their thumbs were chopped off, all this. So Indian handicrafts were ruined. So the impact of Industrial Revolution was, one, they might have purposefully, but it is a reason of destroying Indian handicrafts. Understood. Industrial, because they wanted markets more. Because when you have finished goods, you need market. So if somebody else is a competitor in the market, first you must destroy them. This is the concept which is establishing mercantilism. The idea of mercantilism also matters here. But when we say post-American War of Independence, mercantilism was also kind of dropped post-American War of Independence. And then British went in for more of laissez-faire concept, but not exclusively everywhere. Please understand that. Not exclusively everywhere. Mercantilism was still followed. Laissez-faire was not everywhere. Please, that is in Europe. Okay, that kind of 73, we can say it is A. 73 is most supposed to be A. Then now coming into 74. 74. Consider the following events in the history of India. The rise of Pratiharas, under King Bhojaraja. Okay, let's consider. Establishment of Pallava power under Mahendravarman I. Okay, this chronology. Long time they did not ask the chronology. Very old question papers and all had chronology. Establishment of Chola power under Parantaka Chola. There was a mistake here, Purantaka, but Parantaka Chola. Parantaka Chola is the establisher of Chola supremacy in the south. Those who were in my class, the statement was perfectly given. Remember, if you can check your notes. So Mahendravarman also complete details given. Gurjara Pratiharas or Pratiharas we have talked about. Pala dynasty, I even told you the story. Because Gopala is the first ruler, Pala the word came out. Gopala, so Pala. So Mahipala, all that name comes just because Gopala was, and even I told you the elephant going and garlanding somebody. So Gopala it was. So that's how the dynasty came in Bengal region. So when you talk about these, now let's chronologize. So who shall come here first? So Pala dynasty is around the 600, 700s. Pratihara dynasty also the same time. Chola, Parantaka Chola was later Chola, not the early Karigala Chola time. So later Chola means 800s. So the first established understanding is for Pallavas. Pallavas were there from 200s to 800s. So Mahendravarman was there from almost 600 to 630. That is Mahendravarman. So that comes, second one comes first, 2 comes first. So those with 2 are more consideration, A and C. So that is there. And the next importance that comes is Palas we can say. So again, Gopala comes somewhere that that is around 750 to 750 around that time. 750. That is the time where Gopala comes by. So 2, 4. Then next one naturally goes for King Bhoja. So Bhojaraja was somewhere around 800s. And Parantaka Chola was also near 900s. So that is where 2, 4, 1, 3. So when you talk about 2, 4, 1, 3. Yes, 2, 4, 1, 3. 74, we can go with C. That is what comes by 74, C. And now comes 75. Which of the following phrases defines the nature of Hundi? Hundi, naturally, Hindi, whoever understands Hindi itself, we very well understand. Nothing else, bill of exchange. Pretty straightforward question. Hundi generally referred to in the sources of post-Harsha period. So that all is the development time. So basically, Hundi was a bill of exchange. Many types of Hundis were there. It's a business term. That is what. Let's keep limited to that. There is nothing more. North India, it is very well understood what is Hundi. South Indians and Northeast Indians will have a trouble. But generally, those who understand Hindi itself directly or Sanskrit, directly we understand, okay, this is what it is. So 75 is more or less, it's an informal mode of approach. So 76, I just have a little confusion there. So 77, when it comes, Gandhi Ruin Pact. Very nice. Modern India has come. Modern India came. And okay, last question, 76 also is modern India, let it be. But that's more 76. So even if I go with 76, see this Desher Khatha, written by Shakram Ganesh Dosar, the freedom struggle. So when you consider that, when I approach the question, what I am 76. So when I approach the question, it warned against colonial state hypnotic conquest of mind. Not at all. Not at all. This book, the theme of the book, I have been shouting in the class. Book and author, they have stopped asking. They will ask about. I told you, Babar Nama's theme was asked. Likewise, many things I have told. Likewise, it inspired the performance of Swadeshi street plays and folk songs. Rather than that, it was for Swadeshi. It was on the Swadeshi identity that we can understand, because there was a mention of this book and all. Use of Desh by Deshukar is specific context on the religion of Bengal. So this 2 and 3 is a bit confusing, very close by. That's what I mentioned, that I am also a bit confused on this. You need a little more time to get along to it. So mostly, if you ask me, 2 and 3 can be considered. 2 and 3 can be considered. 1 is not at all there. 1 is not at all there. 2 and 3 can be considered. So 76 can go along with B, according to my analysis. Then next 77 is a beautiful question. Very beautiful question. Gandhi Irwin Pact included the which of the following? So in invitation for Congress to participate roundtable conference, definitely not. Definitely not. Because before the before the civil disobedience movement itself, these things are started, and it was Gandhiji did not want to participate in all that. Then all the civil disobedience movement erupted. So invitation is not the concept. Invitation was long before gone. Withdrawal of ordinance promulgated in connection with civil disobedience movement. Of course, Gandhiji put forward the idea, please, ordinances, whichever was made by the government, in order to restrict the people, whatever it was, that must be removed. And Lord Irwin accepted that also. Acceptance of Gandhi's suggestion for inquiry into police excess, because police arrested many people. So that police, whatever the police, were given extra power, extra judicial power, those kind of things, and was given. So that also was removed. So 2, 3 is right. Release of those prisoners who were not charged with violence. Yes, Gandhiji was a supporter of non-violence. So since Gandhiji was a supporter of non-violence, Gandhiji said those who all have done peaceful dharnas and all, they all were put inside bars or put inside jail. So Gandhiji requested Lord Irwin, please let go of those people. Those who have committed crime or violence, let them be charged. So we have 2, 3 and 4. 2, 3 and 4 we have. 77, it is D. 2, 3 and 4. 77, D. That comes by. Next one, 78 comes the Vitthal Vidwansak. Vitthal Vidwansak, the first monthly journal to have untouchable people as its targeted audience, was published by, of course, none other than Gopal Baba Valankar. Gopal Baba Valankar, that is very much 78, it is A. 78 is A. 78 is A. Coming into 79, with reference to the history of India, the terms of Kalyavapa and Dronavapa. Kalyavapa and Dronavapa denounced to very much it is a measurement of land. It is a measurement of land. Many have the confusion, coins it is, but it is mostly measurement of land. Let that be. It is not a monetary value, it is land value. So some people will say, okay, both these values can be connected. No, it is not monetary value, it is land value. Let that be. Then coming into one question 80. Who among the following rulers advised his subjects through this inscription? Inscription, who advised? Nobody. Very direct question. Very direct question, Ashoka. Ashoka, Ashoka, Ashoka. So one more question is there which I would like to discuss, which has historical connection. So I would like to discuss that question also. That is question number set C, question number 84. Question number 84. one common agreement, but it's more political. Faculty might explain that. My view, let me tell you, my view, common agreement between Gandhian and Marxist. 84, set C, 84th question. That also has that historical highlight. It's more political, more polity-based, but it has historical approach, so I'm just taking it. May the polity lecturer also tell that. One common agreement between Gandhism and Marxism. When you study Marxism and Gandhianism, the very common ideology, that two common ideologies come by here. So the opinion was the final goal of a stateless society, class struggle, abolition of private property, economic determinism. So everything was said, but why we give more importance, I would go for A, because Gandhian principles as well as Marxian principles tells more about both the ideology, that is stateless society, casteless society. Gandhian concept, but Gandhiji supported Varnashrama Dharma. Gandhiji supported Varnashrama Dharma, please remember. That itself eliminates the class struggle there. Marx clearly said, you have nothing to lose but chains. There is a world to conquer. There is a world to conquer. You have nothing to lose but chains. So classless society, Marx told. But even though Gandhianism supports free movement, Gandhiji supported Varnashrama Dharma. So there, that even though Gandhianism supports that very free movement of people, but class struggle is still outside. Final goal of a stateless society, human respecting human, all that. So communism is a means to achieve socialism. Gandhianism, central mode. They are not left. Gandhianism is more centrist. So whether you are right wing, whether you are left wing, whether you are center wing, your final objective is what? What's a stateless society? Humans should know to respect humans, and we should be abiding rules and regulations without having a monitoring authority. Without having a monitoring authority. This is what we need to understand. So when you treat somebody else, you're equal. You are a socialist. You are a socialist. Every concept tries to bring us to that particular act. Whether we, without law and regulation, we know to respect the other. So any form of government will cease to exist once the society become absolute socialist. Absolute socialist, I'm saying. So stateless society. The communism is a means to achieve socialism. Capitalism is a means to achieve socialism. Even Nazism is a means to achieve socialism. I'm giving a very hardcore term here. Nazism. How can Nazis be socialist? Their socialism is their national socialist. National socialist. So every form of government coming in finally wants the people to understand equality, socialism. So stateless society, any form of thought process is that only. So these are the general understanding about questions that come by. So that is A. Last question, 84. That is also A. So this is what I need to tell. And these are the history-based questions which has come for the year 2020. You might have disagreements. I understand. I accept. We have just done an analysis. I again tell you once more, please have a broader mind. Any academy you come across, these are all analysis. These are all, let's be honest and open. At AKS Academy, we will be as transparent as possible. That is what we are trying here. It is not that we kind of dominate about anyone or something. No, we try to, that socialist attitude we try to maintain, and we try to be transparent to the students as much as possible. These all are analysis that are done, which might contradict sometimes. So analysis is being done. So please understand, you are a UPSC aspirant, you gave it very seriously. So that seriousness, let that broad, the broad, wide, the wisdom that you carry, for that you have learned so much, let that help you go a long way. And I wish you all the best. And hopefully our analysis come correct. And I wish you all the best. Take care.